Welcome back to Shem's Universe. So today, guys, we're going to discuss Chapter 9 of The Magic of Thinking Big, which discusses how to think right towards people. So when I read the title of the book, not the book, but the chapter, I was assuming like he's just going to talk a bunch of garbage about how to think positive towards others, and that's somehow going to reflect positively on your life. And that dumb statement is somewhat correct, but there is a method to the madness. In my perception, I've always viewed that thinking positive in negative situations denying reality. However, you can extract positivity from whatever situation that you're in, and in turn that will actually make the situation positive. As you should know by now if you watch my channel, that your perspective actually reflects exactly what your life is going to be. If someone could perceive having a bad life as whatever, like you can look at it like, oh, I have a car, house, blah blah blah, and perceive it as bad. Another person could view it as a great thing. Some people perceive having debt as a bad thing. Some people perceive it as a great thing, like something to overcome. Some people view it as something interesting, like an adventure. So it all depends how your mind works, and that's going to dictate how your life is going to actually work for you. So your mind is the ultimate weapon. I took a lot of notes on this one just because I thought it was a lot to cram in my mind after just reading the chapter, so I decided to write a lot of it down on my phone. And I'm just going to read some of the jot notes that I put down and also give you guys a more clear definition of what he's talking about. So the first thing that I got from it was success depends on the support of other people. And I thought about it, and I'm like, yeah, it's true. Everybody that says that they're self-made, it's like you're self-made to a certain extent. You can make yourself a certain way, meaning you can create like yourself to be valuable, but you still need the support of other people in order to actually get ahead in life. You can't just say, hey, I'm just me. Like Drake likes to say that a lot, I'm just me and I'm successful, but it's actually your fans that made you rich. So Drake, you're watching, you're wrong. Alright? So likability is your sell point. Likability is very similar to credibility, very similar to confidence and competence. Meaning, you need to have good traits for people to like you. Whether that's generosity, whether that's some sort of arrogance, but your character reflects how other people are going to view you. And if you have a good character, people might view you as somebody that's likable in their specific culture. Meaning like rappers are liked in my culture, of course, because we're black and we like the whole gangster thing and blah, 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 look how I dress, right? But like there's going to be other like conservative type of people or Republicans in the States that are going to look at that like, hey, this is not a good message that they're conveying, and this is more of a rebel movement. It all depends on perspective again, but you need to be likable to a certain set of people to get success in certain things. Alright, so it actually teaches you with 10 steps how to become likable. So I'm going to go through these. He gave examples in between, so I'm skipping past all that and just giving you guys just the straight what you need to do, and that's it, taking out all the antidotes. So learn to remember people's names. Like when we were in school, in elementary school, you remembered all your classmates' names. When you're in a job, you should do the same thing. Remember your co-workers' names, your management team. If you know anything special about them, anything that may define their character, try to remember that so that they can appreciate it when you speak with them in the future. He says, be a comfy person, dress average. So he said be comfortable, I put comfy. That means like how I'm dressed right now, like shirt, t-shirt, whatever. And then you have like some shorts, average shoes. Sometimes if you dress up too much, that can intimidate people. And if you dress like a bum, people are not going to respect you. So you need to have a bit in between where you're saying, okay, I dress average, but you have to dress, in my eyes, I view it more like you need to dress to complement your environment. If you're in a situation, like I'm from Toronto, guys, so like I'm sorry if some of my examples are not really reflecting where you're from, but like we have like the core end of Toronto where we have an end called Yorkville, where we have a bunch of expensive restaurants, people with Ferraris, suit and tie type people are going there. I'm not gonna go dressed like this. I'm not gonna go to like a 5-star restaurant dressed like a bum or dressed like I'm going to a ball game. I'm gonna go at least in a dress shirt, maybe some khakis or dress pants and some dress shoes, just to complement my environment that I'm in, to show that respect, that I understand that this is the dress code and this is the cultural norm, right? If you're gonna go to like a ball game though and you're dressed in a suit and tie, might work out as well. You might meet some executives, but more than often than not, you're gonna meet people that are saying, well, why are you dressed like that? Like, who the F are you? So you gotta complement your environment with how you dress. Always don't, I'm not saying be fake, I'm not saying go to each environment and be a different person. What I'm saying is you need to have levels to how you dress. Like me personally, I have house clothes, I have clothes that I wear like to my girlfriends, I have clothes that I wear when I'm out with the boys, and then I have clothes that I'm gonna wear to like the club or whatever, and then also interview clothes, like job interviews and business. These are all different things, these are all different segments. Am I being fake? No, but I have different swaggers for each thing. All right, so I'm gonna skip past that one now. The third one is get an easygoing attitude. So an easygoing attitude just simply means don't be a pushover. I don't want people to get that fooled with being a pushover. But being easygoing means like somebody cuts you off on the road, get over it, just move on. I have a lot of friends that get caught up with things like that, road rage, etc. Yeah, that's cool to get caught up, but who's really winning in the end? When I was younger, I was a very hot-headed person that I would get caught up and I was very egotistical. From like 16 to 20, I'd say about 23, 24, I was probably the most egotistical person you could meet. I was the type of person, if you stepped on my ego, even said anything to offend me, I'll literally destroy you verbally or probably physically as well. I'm a martial artist, I'd literally punch you in your face. I was a person, but that made me not likable to a lot of people. That made me have a lot of opposition because my ego got in the way of social networking, which in turn led to negative results. All right? Next one, cultivate the quality of being interesting. So what that means is a lot of people are like know-it-alls, they like to say a lot of stuff and blah, 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 use big vocabulary. I have quite a big vocabulary myself, but I prefer more to be interesting. Meaning if I'm talking with people that are interested in like dance, music, I'm going to talk to them about those type of things to complement what they're interested in. So that way they're going to view me as interesting. I'm not going to talk to somebody that like is into chess about martial arts. Maybe they might like it, depending on what type of person they are, if they're open-minded, but I prefer to talk to them about what they're interested in. And if I have some knowledge on it, we could probably generate a better conversation in that way. So you got to figure out what facts you know and the type of people you're around, and that way you can be interesting to them, and that's going to help you be more likable. All right? 6th one, study to get the scratchy elements out of your personality, even those which you may be unconscious of. I used to be somebody who used to get bored very easily. So I'd be at my girls, chilling, whatever, and all of a sudden, like, I just go dead, like, just dull. And everybody would be like, you okay? Are you okay? Shem, what's going on, dude? And the thing with that is, that's an unconscious habit. As soon as your mind goes dull because you're used to a certain lifestyle, you end up just becoming dull in certain situations. That is a very specific thing to me, but you need to say that yourself. We all have flaws. None of us are perfect. You need to realize what's not perfect about yourself. And I'm not saying change yourself, but what I'm saying is try to get the negative traits from yourself, extrapolate them, look at them for what they are without an ego, and try to fix them slowly and gradually. I'm not saying it's going to happen overnight, maybe not even over a year, but over a couple of years, maybe you can improve on things little by little. 7th, sincerely attempt to heal or drain off your grievances. So, a lot of people have like grievances. Like I've had a lot of deaths around me. I grew up around a different type of friends where they were into different things that weren't exactly legal. So because of that, I have a lot of deaths around me, a lot of people dying, and that in turn led me to have a very negative outlook on life, especially at a young age. Sorry about the background noise, guys. I'm on a balcony. But this is what happens. We all have grievances. We have family deaths. We have friendships. Maybe just bad things have happened that don't result in death, but just bad things. You got to get over your grievances in order to have a better future. If we focus on the past, our future can never change. What we focus on is what we get. So if you're going to focus on the past, you're going to reciprocate the past and get the same thing again. If you focus on the future and not know what's happening, then you get to create. That's where manifestation is going to come from. If you're focusing simply on an unknown variable, then you get to create the variable that's going to take place. All right? I hope that makes sense to you guys. If you guys want me to emphasize on that one, I'd be very happy to do a video just specifically on manifestation, because that point that he made is extremely important. If you focus on your grievances, you're going to get more. If you focus on positivity, you're going to get more of that. 8th one, practice liking people until it becomes genuine. This one was important to me. I never used to like people at all. Meaning, I would always look at people and say, I'm an antisocial person. I want to be on social media. I don't want to be on YouTube. I don't want to do any of this stuff. But people always told me, like, you're a real guy, though. You're an authentic person. I've never tried to impersonate anybody. I've never tried to imitate anybody around me. And I just don't F around. That's the best way of describing me. However, that raw character that I have could be better. I can still be raw, but I had to focus on liking people more, find the good in everybody. And that sounds very like Christian and very like a religious dogma, like, oh, find the good in everybody, do unto others, they do unto you. But it's true. If you can find, every person is a gradient of between good and evil. And nobody's completely good and nobody's completely evil. We all have balance, we all have complementary traits. And if you look at it in that way, you'll realize that, yes, I have traits that are good, some traits that are bad, and so do other people. So you can't just look at other people and say, well, I don't like this person because of X, Y, Z. You gotta look at it like maybe ABC is good with them. Maybe they are an asshole boss. Maybe they're not the best boss to be the best manager. But outside the workplace, they might be a good person. You got to view them like this. Like, you're playing your role in the workplace by being the a-hole. But, sorry guys. But literally, you might be a completely good person outside of work. That's you looking at reality and not just looking at a person from one angle. All right? Moving on. Never miss an opportunity to congratulate someone or show sympathy. Very self-explanatory. If you can show sympathy in any situation to somebody that's going through something, they're going to end up gaining your respect, and you're going to get their respect in return, because they're going to look at you like, hey, you're somebody that I can look at and say, you're a good person, you have empathy towards me without me having to ask you to. And also, same thing goes for congratulating people. Sometimes maybe people in your work get a raise, for instance, or get a promotion. If you're the first person to congratulate them, next thing you know, you're the next person getting that promotion. If you can congratulate somebody on even their small feats, maybe they need to hear that. Maybe there's somebody who is insecure or self-conscious, and then you're the person that comes around and tells them, you did a great job in this, and I'm proud of you. You could help somebody's day. Beyond your own selfish reasons, you might just help somebody's life and compliment it in a great way. 10th reason, finally, for being likable, guys. I know this is quite a long list. Give spiritual strength to people and they will have genuine affection to you. I think this was written in the 50s, so he said give spiritual strength. He was saying it in like a Christianity sort of way, where that was like all of America. All of America was Christian. Christian, Catholic, that was it. They didn't accept Muslim, they didn't accept people that are Buddhist. Like, it wasn't really like that in those times. So what that means is, if you can give spiritual strength, meaning giving like a supernatural kind of energy about you, if you follow those other 9 principles, you're going to give people spiritual strength. It's going to come around and people are going to see you as like when you're recharging a battery on your phone. You're that person that's a charger. When people are around you, they feel supercharged, they feel positive, they feel like they can actually have a better outlook on life, and in turn that's going to make you more likable. It's actually helping you. What you give, you receive. So it's very self-explanatory there. If you guys want me to emphasize on that at all, let me know, but I'm going to move on. So conversations now. He gives the real reasons for conversations, and this is a lot of things that people actually fail to realize, and this also helps you with being more likable and also thinking right towards people, which is going to be our title. The conversation part is easy. Conversation, generosity wins friends. Meaning, I have a lot of people around me that, like, I'll tell them I had a horrible day. Girlfriend tells me the same thing. And then literally your friend will tell you all about their problems or all about their day after you said, I just had a horrible day or I went through this. And they'll tell you, hey Shem, yeah, you can handle it. But then when they have a bad day, you gotta listen to them for 5 hours. If you can be the type of person that's a charmer, this is in a lot of other books as well. A charmer is a person that literally, when they have conversations, they always direct it towards the other person. This is important for sales, if you're in sales as well. Sorry to add on a bunch of stuff, guys, but it's true. This all relates back together. Every self-help book I read always relates with one another. So if you can look at your conversations as just a sell point, meaning you're just looking at it for, what can I find out about this person, or what can I do to make it directed at this person? People are very, very, very self-absorbed, and they try to act like they're not. But if you can always direct a conversation towards a person, you're going to win. They're going to like you because they get to talk about themselves, you get to give them a little bit of positive feedback, and in turn they win. They're going to love you for it. Second example, which is what I already said, learn more about people. Just like in sales, if you let somebody talk more and more and more and you're just a listener, you're going to learn everything about them. Then you can use that for good or evil. I'm not going to get into that part. So to give you guys a synopsis of the chapter, in a capsule, practice these 7 principles, and this is how you're going to think to right towards people. Make yourself likable. I gave you the 10 examples already. Go with that. Take initiative in building friendships, meaning if you see somebody at your at a recreational place, somebody you work with, somebody you go to school with, and you think they're a likable person, be the first person to say, hey, what's your name? My name's blah, blah, blah. And then that's going to make you have more friends. More friends equals more networks. A better network equals more opportunities. It all goes into a positive feedback loop. Number 3, accept human differences and limitations. That's what I was talking about earlier with the gradients. Nobody's completely good or completely evil. If you can practice being the person that understands people's limitations, understands that everybody is different and unique in their own way, you're going to have a better time in life. You're not going to judge others anymore. You're just going to look at them and understand that you have these traits, and here's how I can complement them in order to get the best use out of you. Number 4, always think positive of others, even your enemies. The best example for me is managers. I'm having a bad time at work at the moment when I bring up managers, but if you can always have sort of sympathy and empathy even towards people that are trying to bring you down, that's going to help you a lot to get further in life. it's not gonna, because when you just think negatively, even about other people, it's poisoning your own brain, poisoning your own soul. That's a little bit supernatural for you guys, but that's just how it is. If you're gonna think negative, you're gonna get negative results. Always try to find the positive in people and situations. Number 5, practice conversation generosity. Let others talk to you about themselves. We've already been through all that, very self-explanatory. Number 6, practice courtesy at all times. Courtesy is something like holding a door, letting others speak first, not interrupting. You guys get the picture there. Number 7, don't blame others when you receive a setback. A lot of the time we always tend to blame others when we receive some sort of setback, whether that's a failure in like school, recreational activities like sports, or career opportunities. We tend to blame like, oh, my manager should have hired me, or blah, 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 blah. Yeah, sometimes other people do affect our results, but if you take complete responsibility for your life 100% of the time, no matter what happens, you're responsible and you take that responsibility going forward, you won't have any more problems with people. It's really as simple as that. So that's the synopsis for chapter 9. It's probably one of my longer videos. This was a very, very important video. If you can understand this one chapter of this book, you'll have a lot different life. This will be a pivotal moment for you if you actually use these principles in sequence. Alright guys, so if you have any questions on it whatsoever, please let me know. Like, subscribe, holla at me. That's it.